I can love you in a secret way. I can love you each and every day.
He knows where she's at. He knows where she's at. That's his secret. Dude, that song is creepy.
You want to
It's disgusting.
Let's just
No, I
hear
don't want to hear no more.
one more time.
Some of the information you are about to hear, some may find disturbing. What police found in the soil was this: 7 bodies wrapped up in sheets and duct tape. They had to drink each other's blood.
You're not making this shit up, right?
Welcome to Two Guys, One Crime.
Welcome everybody back to the podcast. This is Two Guys, One Crime. We are your hosts. I am Little Jim. As with me as always, my dad.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Hi.
What's your name?
Oh, Yim.
Stupid. God. As with me, as always, is my dad, Big Jim. We are two guys who like to talk about crime. We mostly dabble in the true crime essence, but we are going to be getting into something a little bit different every so often. So it's not always going to be murder or suspicious disappearance or something like that. Eventually, we'll get into other crimes as well. But real quick before we get started, UFC legend Cain Velasquez has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder.
What? No, what?
Swear to God, he was
From San Jose. Cain lives here in the Bay Area.
correct. San Jose, Cain Velasquez,
What's the full story?
former UFC heavyweight champ.
Who did he
former
try to
UFC
kill? Is that Coat, the owner of the gym?
That is unclear. I'm pulling it up right now. All it says, and I'm reading this directly from NY Post, so it's a very good source. Cain Velasquez, one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time, was arrested in California on suspicion of attempted murder. San Jose police announced on Tuesday that Velasquez was arrested in connection with a shooting in which a male adult was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. The police said the motive and circumstances surrounding this incident are still under investigation at this time. Holy fuck, he is so young. He's only
like in his
39.
Yeah. He's been fighting. I think he started fighting in his mid-20s.
Holy shit, I didn't know that. I thought he was older. Yeah.
Now the old dudes are like Boss Rutan and Don Fry.
Velasquez, 39, was booked into a Santa Clara County jail Monday night, and he's being held without bail.
So yesterday.
Yeah. That's crazy. So just for everyone who doesn't know, right now we're recording this on March 1st. So he was arrested on February 28th.
I bet he wishes it was a leap year.
Yeah, no shit, right? That's terrible.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. Okay. Well,
I'll hope and pray for the best resolution.
Agreed.
My apologies, Mr. Vasquez.
Yeah, you don't want him fucking coming after you. He's already tried to kill someone apparently.
Yeah, see,
and he knows how to professionally knock someone's fucking face off. Did you happen to see the story that I put on Instagram?
No. When did you put it in? I haven't been on Instagram yet since yesterday. Well, I saw you got me rolling.
Yeah, no, not my person. No, not my person. My wife broke her foot.
She should have put a stick shift on it.
I know, right?
So hold this. See me rolling. Whoa.
What's Jesse from what's his name? Jesse from Fast and Furious could have souped it up. My wife, we went. God, we went to Tahoe over this last week for my daughter's 7th birthday, and her first slope of the day. That's what's so crazy. It was the first slope of the day. It was 30, 45 minutes before closing time. And she went down with my daughter. And the best part is I got my camera out, my phone, to record it in slow motion just so I can put a video montage together for her birthday like I did last year, which I did this one too. And it ends with a broken ankle. And so that's where we're at with her. So I on my personal stories, I put her rolling around in grocery outlet in one of those motorized scooters. It says, "See me rolling."
And hey, 10.
Yeah.
She needs some airbags or
hydraulics on it. Other than that, no. Our podcast is number 46.
Where?
In Kazakhstan.
For true. They're having war right now in that area?
I don't know. If they are, we're getting them through the war. So salute soldiers. I hope everything makes it.
That's toward China. That's between China and the U.S. or Russia, right? So they are of Mongolian descent, pretty much.
Kazakhstan is actually where Borat's from. That's where Borat's from. Very nice.
Basically, it's a non-fictional character, so it's a non-fictional.
No, it's a place.
Area.
No, it's a place.
Real?
Yeah, it's literally between. Actually, it is bordering Russia, the south part of Russia, and yes, it is actually east of Mongolia. And northeast of China.
That's where them big fuckers lived in them yurts, and they go hunt elk and they eat shit by hand, and
they grab elks by the face and fucking just wrestle them to the ground. But yeah, we're number.
And they're 46. Only 5 years old.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, thank you. How do you say thank you in Kazakhstan?
I don't know. How are you gonna ask me?
I'm gonna Google that shit.
Thank you. Like, I don't know. So yeah, we're number 46 on their true crime category of Apple Podcasts in Kazakhstan. So thank you everyone from Kazakhstan who is listening.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that. Didn't even think that we would be even out in that area. Also, real quick, this is some older news now, but we haven't recorded it in about a week or two. Congratulations to Molly and Cody for joining a podcast network. The name is Darkcast. Congratulations to you two. Wish you guys the very best. I mean, that's pretty cool because they have a few podcasts on that network that I saw.
Yeah, Curly Curiosity is really good. So is True Crime California. Freaky AF. There's a few of them I've been listening to. All so right. let's let them know we've got new mics. They're super sensitive.
Just so if you can't hear a difference, which I'm hoping you can, everyone listening or watching, because I can hear a difference with my headphones plugged into this thing. We have new microphones. I did post on our Instagram page a couple weeks ago that they were going to be coming soon, and now we have them, and they are awesome. Holy shit, we can hear everything.
In the infamous words of Cody, that's enough of the floofity floof.
The floofity floof. Actually, no. One thing I forgot to mention in one of our previous episodes, and that was with Dorothea Puente. And I was going poop earlier, and I was trying to remember what I should bring up, and I cleared out some space. I cleared out some gigabytes and freed up some memory. With Dorothea Puente, one of her victims, and I can't remember exactly, but I know it's one of these two women. It was either Betty Palmer or Ruth Monroe. One of the two when they were found, and I actually forgot to put this in. I had it on my notes. I had it as like a
bullet point
parenthesized. Oh. And I missed over it. And one of them, again, I can't remember if it was Ruth or Betty, was found without her head. It was the only victim. It was the only victim found without their head, and to this day, they never found the head. So that person
she fed it to the. I think she fed it to the people in there. Well,
no,
I don't want to speculate.
No,
I don't want to speculate, but
no,
that area,
that's what makes it so much fun. Speculate.
Oh, that area back then, it wasn't as developed, so there was still a bunch of wildlife out there.
True. Well, I mean, it was the 80s.
No, dude. Since we left to Arizona in '99, before you were born, even in the 80s, because I used to drive up to my buddies in Chico and take that highway, it was still tules and wildlife and bird and pheasant. You can even hunt for elk in that area. So I don't know exactly where in Sacramento County she lived. The origin of where this story takes place to compare to where the wildlife used to be, there was plenty of wildlife. So I'd imagine something may have taken it and already devoured it.
That was my housekeeping that I wanted to get out of the way, because I know that's one of the things that I forgot to mention, and I don't want, the internet fucking people being like, hey, asshole, you forgot to mention this, like they did with the Delphi murders. Her name was not Germaine, it was German. And then you hear every fucking news outlet, even today, oh, that's what it was too. I have another one of those. There's an update with the Delphi murders. In December 2021, a social media account was linked to the deaths of Abby and Libby. Indiana State Police have connected Keegan Klein to the account. The account in which they're talking about is Anthony Shots. I believe it was at Anthony_Shots. Keegan created this account, and this is why he was in jail when the news outlet that I saw, which was WTHR Channel 13 in Indiana, he was able to give an interview to them. Keegan created the account for specifically sexual and lewd acts online only. He stated he created this account.
Through Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're fucking banned off of going live. Yeah, that's great. He strictly made that account for the intention of receiving explicit photos from underage girls, which he was talking to Abby. However, it's not clear whether or not she had sent anything to him or whether or not they have even met this person. But he is now labeled as a person of interest, seeing as he had that account and they were linked fairly close. At this time, it's unclear if Keegan met the girls at all. Keegan has also provided DNA such as hair and saliva to the state police and is waiting for further information.
Oh, but he is incarcerated for something else. He's
incarcerated, yes. Yeah.
So now they're just trying to connect the dots and try to bring him. Okay.
Correct. I want to start off a little fun. Let's play a little game real quick before we start the episode.
All
right. If you were a serial killer, what do you think your serial killer name would be? Here's the rules. You have to use the street name of your first home bought and your favorite movie. And it'll be the blank blank killer.
My first movie that I remember, or just one of my
one of your favorite movies, and then the street of the home that you first bought.
The Desert Cove Exorcist.
That's a fucking crazy name. Seriously? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot that you bought that house.
Yeah.
Exorcist is is your favorite movie?
We said one of them.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that was one of your favorites.
Enter the Dragon.
So let's see. Mine would be. Ooh, this is a good one. The Pleasant Crow.
Yeah.
The Pleasant Crow Killer. Ooh, I would kill him with sympathy and kindness, and then slit their throat.
So yeah, I'd be the Desert Cove Exorcist.
That's a fucking wicked name.
That's my serial killer name.
That's a wicked name. I might even title this that name. The Desert Cove Exorcist. That's hella cool. I can't even lie. You just shit on mine, the Pleasant Crow. I sound like a fucking fruity animal flying around. All right. Well, before I get into this real quick, this may be a 2-part episode, just so you know, because this is so much information that I have. Not only
Well,
that,
son, I have 2-part episode time. I don't do shit.
well, I got a
This is
lot of clothes to
this is
fold that you
technically
saw
my
yesterday.
exercise. This is technically my no. I go out. I walk. I'm lying. I do shit, but technically, this is the only thing I consider working is doing the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so this may be a part 2, just to give you a heads up, just to give you the listeners and viewers a heads up too. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I think we're gonna have to do a part 2. Disclaimer: this episode is very sad. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a little bit depressing. It describes the following information: a bloody home, a suspicious husband, 2 no-neck Mexicans, a missing woman, and a very, very sad ending twist. It is one that'll probably leave you saying, what in the fuck is wrong with you guys? Now,
Not me. I'm not telling the story. It's that crazy fuck on the other side of the phone here.
howdy doody. Yes, this is a very twisted, not very twisted, but it's a disappearance story. I will give you that. This is the disappearance of Susan Powell. And today, my sources for the podcast are as follows: the KOMO News, ComoNews.com, article from there, article from archive.sltrib.com, article from king5.com, an article from KUTV.com, an article from KSLNnewsradio.com, Kindle Ray's podcast or YouTube channel, I should say, and a KSL.com article. And all of these links will be in the show notes below. You guys can read over these, and this is where I found most of the material, as well as the good old Wikipedia.
Facts.
Let's get into the story.
Sounds familiar. The Powell name sounds familiar.
Okay. So this is how I'm going to open it up for you and everyone listening. So hopefully everyone can hear it. Let me know if you can hear it when it starts playing. We have a video, and it says Susan Powell talks about her life and possessions. It's a 12-minute video that I'm not going to play 12 minutes of, but it's from the Salt Lake City Tribune.
This is me, July 29th, 2008. It is 12:33. On time. Covering all my bases, making sure that if something happens to me or my family or all of us, that our assets are documented.
Yep,
Hope
I
everything
remember. I
works
know
out and we're all
exactly who
happy
this is.
and live happily ever after as much as that's possible.
This is Susan Powell. She said in this video that she's making a video and documenting all of her and her family's belongings in case something happens to her or anything like that. Now, if you watch the video, this was also in July. This was on July 29th, 2008, actually a few days after my birthday. She kind of rolled her eyes after she said, so in case something happens and we can all live happily ever after, and rolled her eyes. What do you think that recording, why do you think she recorded that?
Well, I know the story now. It's how come I knew it sounded familiar.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it is one of the absolute worst that I've ever watched, and I say that on multiple levels and multiple failed attempts. But yeah, go ahead.
Now, this video was recorded 6 months before Susan went missing. But before we get into how and when she got missing, in part 1 of this episode, we're going to cover who Susan was, her husband Josh, their time of living in the Utah area, which is where most of this story takes place, and then we will leave it on a very creepy note involving her father-in-law. Susan was born October 16th, 1981. She was born in New Mexico with a wonderful, wonderful parents and a loving family. Her parents were together and would go on trips very often and overall would have a good time with one another. Now, with her family, religion was a very, very big thing, specifically Mormon. Her and her family were Mormon. They would always attend church. They would always attend church functions. Susan, did not know life outside of anything other than the religion. And that was a very, the strong backbone of this family. Not to say that religion is bad or anything like that. Whatever you believe in is what you believe in. It's just when you're, people got a very tight grip on you with certain religions, and Cassidy from Drinking the Kool-Aid will agree some of the religions are pretty fucking crazy. So
shouldn't exist.
Yeah, some of them, yes. Scientology. Susan was known as a selfless, sweet person who would give the shirt off of her back and money to anyone if needed. Josh, her husband, boyfriend at the time, he was born on January 20th, 1976. So he's just a few years older than she was. He was born in Puyallup, Washington. He was the second oldest of 4 kids. He was 3 boys, 1 daughter. Josh's father, Stephen, was very abusive towards Josh. Now, when you look at the two, Josh and Susan, they had vastly different upbringings. Susan was with the church. She had a great foundation. She was always happy. Her parents were always happy. Josh, on the other hand, not so fucking lucky. This guy had a very twisted life. Let's get into him real quick. Josh's father, Stephen, was very abusive towards Josh, specifically Josh, by the way. He was also abusive both physically and verbally to the other children, but more specifically towards Josh. Court documents later in years found that his parents divorced, and because of that, it shed a very grim and terrible light on Josh's upbringing. Divorce is never a good thing for anybody. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are. Divorce is a horrible, horrible thing for any child or children. The document stated, this is the crazy part, okay? This is one of the many crazy parts of this story. Stephen, his dad, Josh's dad, would sit with him and his 2 brothers and watch pornographic movies with them. There's a big difference if you're watching like Beer Fest and a pair of tits shows up on the screen. That's 2 to 3 seconds of boobage.
Yeah.
You're not sitting there watching full-on penetration pornographic movies with your children. That's fucking weird.
They were young. I don't care how old, teenage, preteen, they were still.
Yeah, no, he would sit there and watch porn with his kids. That's the weirdest fucking thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
So weird. It was on top of all that weird shit. Josh was a weird kid to begin with. And they say this very often, and we know this now through the FBI criminology reports and that, just like that show Mindhunter, the profilers, the killer profiles. If you start killing pets as a child, that's a bad fucking sign.
It's a big indicator of trouble.
And this guy killed his gerbils for fun. What do you mean for fun? So if that wasn't a first sign of crazy, the fucking killing of animals, or the fact that he sits there with his dad and watches porn, and some even speculated that witchcraft would also be practiced, that Josh would dabble in the dark arts, as some would call.
That I never heard.
But it's also safe to say Josh was a little out there, right?
A little?
Just a little. And if that wasn't crazy enough, there's 2 more things that happened when he was a kid. One of which one of which he attempted suicide. Obviously, that didn't work out too well because he didn't kill himself, as you will all find out when this story progresses. And what's even double twisted is this guy had no remorse. I don't even know if it's remorse, but he just didn't care about his family, his mom. Okay. His mom. Have you, before I go any further, have you ever been upset with your mom?
Sure.
Like you've
Not
gotten mad, like, oh fuck. But have you ever like yelled at her or anything like that?
I don't, not in like an aggressive or fighting way. No, I've never yelled like that.
Because that's your
We've,
mom, right? You respect your
yeah,
mom.
yeah.
She
Sure.
brought you,
We've talked.
especially your mom. You know, all the things that she's gone through in her life. You respect her. I don't respect.
Yeah.
I almost said I don't respect my mom. No. I respect my mom. She's gone through hell and back, hell and high water. I mean, I will take a bullet for her. I'll fucking anything goes with my mom. I love her to death. Love you, mom. This guy got pissed off one time at his mom, Josh, because she asked him to do the dishes. How do you think he retaliated towards her?
Well, he probably broke them.
That would be the smart response, or even a better response.
It was worse.
He attacked her with a fucking butcher knife.
Oh, yeah. See, I've never heard that about this dude.
Yeah, he attacked her with a butcher knife for doing the dishes. Hey, son, you know that fork that you just put in there? You mind scrubbing that shit off and putting it away? The fuck you say to me, mom? How does this register to people that that's a good thing to fucking do?
You know, unfortunately, it happens. I grew up some friends like that who didn't like their parents in general.
Now, as crazy as all this shit is, one of the things that Steven and Josh's mom, who I could not find her name, one of the things that they kept on their priorities, their priority lists of keeping things up in the family is marriage. Marriage was a very sacred thing. Don't forget, like I said, they were also Mormons. So that's like, I mean, I don't know if Mormons have commandments, but same thing.
They believe in family and growing it.
Yes, correct. Extensively.
Mm.
So keeping the family together was a big thing. And so marriages, relationships, they really didn't believe in divorce or anything like that. So his side of the family, Josh's side of the family, was very happy to when they found out that they were married when they were 19. They got married when they were 19, and the family was a little shocked. Her family, specifically Susan's family, not so much Josh's fucking whack jobs over there. They were a little shocked. They weren't upset. They were just more kind of taken back. Once they got married, however, the newlyweds decided to spread their Mormon wings and move out to a bigger, vast valley, which is where they went to West Valley City, Utah. Now we're going to cover their time in Utah. And it starts like this. In 2005, Josh and Susan had their first son, Charles. In 2007, their second son, Brandon, was born. Now, shortly after the birth of Brandon, Susan began to tell her childhood friend, Darlene, of her life with Josh was not all sunshines and daisies as everyone thought. Matter of fact, she would tell Darlene that Josh was very abusive. Now, again, kind of taking a little back step. When you have a very shitty upbringing, that tends to bleed into your adult life.
It creates your adult life. It's a pattern. It's a repeated pattern.
That's what it is. It's a repeated pattern. Susan would go on to say that the pair, her and Josh, were no longer sexual after Brandon was born. This is in 2007. And they were actually suffering financially, which if you're listening to this and if you're kind of getting like a little memory, this kind of reminds me actually of the Chris Watts case. The guy was struggling financially. They had 2 children. They were not in a very good relationship. They didn't even have sex. Come to find out, that dude was sleeping around. This, however, is not Chris Watts. He is a much darker person, as we will find out. The events of Susan Powell go as followed. Now, 2009, December 6th, at around noonish, Susan and the boys, who were 4 and 6 at the time, walked home from a church service with a friend, Kiersey Helwell. It's an interesting name. Around 1 p.m., the neighbor, Giovanna Owings, came by the house. Now, Giovanna remembers seeing the family eating pancakes and eggs for dinner. She came over to the house, and Susan and some of the neighbors were very friendly, so she would have some of the neighbors over. So she came over that day. She was there when Susan made this for dinner. It was around 4 p.m. I'm sorry, it was around 1 p.m., which is kind of odd that it was an early dinner, but this is what they were saying, that she made pancakes and eggs, and Susan began feeling extremely tired. At around 5 p.m., Susan lays down for a nap. Giovanna leaves, and Josh takes the boys out sledding. Mind you, it's December. They're in Utah. It's snow. It's very fucking cold.
Cold. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just, like I said earlier in this episode, I just got back from Tahoe for my daughter's 7th birthday. It was fucking cold up there at 18 degrees. I can imagine what it is in Utah. Roughly 3 hours later, that's now about 8 p.m., give or take, another neighbor sees Josh return home. This neighbor, however, did not give his name. It was just reported that he's seen Josh come home. December 7th, 2009. Now it's about 12:30 a.m. So very, very early morning, I guess you could say. Josh and the boys, mind you, had just gotten back from sledding. 12:30 in the morning. And now all of a sudden he's like, hey boys, we're going camping. Get your shit. Let's go. The campground that they went to was actually called Simpson Springs Campground. Now, I'm going to pause here. We've gone camping hundreds upon hundreds of times. Have we ever, one of two questions, have we ever left in the middle of the night at 12:30 in the morning to go to the campground?
Yeah, actually.
Well, there goes that question.
So technically, yeah, it was dark. There's no lights up there.
But how often do you think people leave at 12:30 in the morning to go?
Hunters do it.
So not like, but right. So not,
not common
people, not like a family.
Not to go camp.
No. They'll probably leave at, like, let's say 6 to get to a place by 9 or 10. Right. That's a normal
usually time. Gates open at 9 or like a hotel.
Yeah.
Reservations begin at 12.
Daylight.
Yeah.
While the dad or mom or whoever is setting up the campsite, kids go down by the lake or the river, the creek, whatever. There's a whole thing. You don't take your children out at 12:30 in the morning in almost sub-zero fucking temperatures in Utah to go camping. Mind you, this place, Simpson Springs Campground, there's nothing out there. It's not like it's a fucking oasis. It's just dirt and rock.
It's natural.
Yeah. And if you've ever been to a valley, very specific valley like that, it gets fucking cold with the wind chill. Now this campground was roughly 25 miles west of Vernon, which is a very remote small town with a population of about 329 people. I say that specifically because they weren't too far from that town, and their home wasn't too far from the campground. Susan, however, did not join Josh and the boys. She stayed home. At around 9 a.m. on December 7th, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. on December 7th, the daycare provider for the boys became alarmed as Susan did not provide any information for the boys not to be taken to daycare. Now, the reason that they would be taken to daycare is because both Susan and Josh worked. Any person with that kind of background, a daycare background or, caretaking background, that's their job. Hey, I'm not bringing so-and-so. Hey, I'm not bringing the kids. I'm not going to go check on this person today. It is their duty to follow up and say, hey, where are these kids? I need to know where they're at. So very kudos to her.
Attendance.
Yes. Now, she attempted to make contact with both Josh and Susan. However, both times that she tried calling them were unsuccessful. The daycare provider, then called her the emergency contact list, notifying Josh's sister Jennifer. I'm sorry, but this lady deserves some type of fucking award or an applause or something, because she's like, all right, well, I'm going down the fucking list to see, one, where are these kids at? Two, where are the parents? And if I can't get any answers, I'm calling someone. She then notified the police as she was very nervous, quote, of carbon monoxide poisoning in their home. It's not confirmed whether or not they had some issues with their carbon monoxide detector or anything like that, but it was just something that she thought of. Good for her.
She's a mom. She knows it's part of their, I'm sure it's part of their daily assessment for being a company that has to take care of kids. They've got guidelines to follow. And if nobody's called in and notification about their children, of course, it's part of her job.
Correct. So again, kudos to her. Later in that day, same day, December 7th, it's around 1 p.m. now. Several welfare checks were made by the police. When they weren't able to get any answers based off of suspicion, police entered the home and found no one inside the home. Mind you, Susan didn't go camping. Prior to that, she went and fell asleep. This was given by Giovanna, the neighbor, that she was home the day before. Now she's not home, and no one's seen her leave. It was almost as if she up and disappeared.
Up and disappeared. There goes that phrase again.
But what they did discover, however, at the home was Susan's purse as well as her phone. Now, back in 2009, this was not what we have now. It wasn't smartphones like this. It wasn't iPhones. Yes, they were starting to come out. They probably had sidekicks and all that other razors and stuff, but your phone still had buttons on them.
They weren't as advanced as they are today.
With that being said, they found it odd that her phone was there. Again, not very high-tech phone, but it's still kind of odd that someone would leave their phone and their purse, all their personal belongings, phone, wallet, money, driver's license, credit cards, debit cards, all the things that you would need to go about your normal day. Now, what the police also found was this: not one, two fans, big box fans. Remember that big box fan that we had in the old house? They were turned on.
I still have two of them.
Do you?
Yeah, hell yeah. They
found two of them turned on high in a, quote, wet spot in the living room, it was turned on to dry those spots. Now, either something happened or Susan and Josh got freaky the night prior and someone broke out the baby oil and got real nasty.
I don't think that guy was that creative.
Wait till I tell you about his dad later. Now, police described the wet spot as if someone had, like I had mentioned, tried to clean something up and to dry it quickly. That was at around 1 p.m. This is now between 5 and 6 p.m. Josh and the boys returned home from their spontaneous camping trip in the middle of the fucking night. And upon their return, He was almost immediately taken to the West Valley Police Station for questioning, as he should have been. The following day, on December 9th, this was now 2 days later, he has been there for almost 24 hours, questioning, and answering every question. This dude, he could not get out. He's just so awkward with his responses when they're like, well, where's your wife at? He's like, oh, well, she just wanted to stay home. I just took the boys camping. Well, why wouldn't you bring your wife?
Oh, you mean when they were interrogating him?
Yeah.
When they were questioning him? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was almost not that he didn't care, which I'm sure he probably didn't, but his answers were just so, what's the word, lackadaisical.
It's just nonchalant. It's just so, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he had a very, I would say, a very sneaky response, very suspicious response.
Suspicious. It wasn't cocky or anything like that. It was just, yeah, she didn't want to go. I took the boys camping, and yeah, that's what we did. Very odd guy. Now, December 9th, Josh calls Susan's father and informs Chuck, that's Susan's dad's name, to inform him that Susan was missing and that Josh had been questioned by the police. It's 2 days after that she's been missing. December 7th is when she went missing. It's now December 9th. The parents of Susan were probably losing their fucking mind, because why wouldn't you at least tell them, hey, I just got home from camping. There's police outside. I would have been my first thing to do.
Sure.
That's shit. But I mean, I guess everyone's different, but that's just me.
Well, you don't have a guilty conscience either, so you didn't do anything wrong to redirect attention.
True. Very true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just it's very strange how people can act, when it comes to a missing person. Scott Peterson was a very good example. And if you've ever seen the movie, also, Gone Girl, if you've never seen it, you should really watch it. It's a great fucking film. But the way they portray Ben Affleck's character very much like Scott Peterson, and not to get too far off of topic, but it's very strange how, I'll say it, the husbands react to their wives going missing. It's odd.
It's not. I can think of a name, Jodi Arias.
Yeah. Oh, I heard. Yeah. Oh man.
It's a person. It's the behavioral of the person. It doesn't have to have male or female. It's just the person who is of guilt.
Now, after the police questioned Josh, they obtained a search warrant for his home. Now, they did take a few things. It wasn't very much, but they did take a few things that they found of interest. There was a few boxes, a bag, and a computer, specifically the hard drive, the big towers.
Yeah, those are big old. They weren't easy. Some of them weren't even light. They were pretty heavy.
They were heavy as shit. They were almost like 10 pounds, 8 to 10 pounds. Mm-hmm. Now, the following day, on December 10th, police search Simpson Springs campground as Josh is being questioned yet again. However, they, being the police, find no evidence of a crime or no reason of suspicion. After hours of questioning Josh, police let him go. Now, they can't keep him, and I can understand a lot of people's frustration. I can understand, why the fuck did the police do this or do that? They can't hold someone against their will. Yes, they could. That person is a person of interest. That's exactly what that is. They are not a suspect. They are not the criminal. They just have reason to suspect this person, but they cannot pinpoint specifically why just yet. Now, as Josh leaves, this is now becoming local news. They were able to put it out that a woman had gone missing. Going back to that white woman syndrome. missing white woman syndrome, that a woman was missing, and now she's all over the local news. Again, was Utah. As Josh is pulling up to his home after leaving the police station, there's already a news crew outside of his home. This dude, and I'll find the video real quick. I'll have to cut it out, obviously, but again, his responses are they don't make, it's so confusing at how he answers these questions. And I'll play the clip, and then I want you to kind of break it down. All right.
Okay.
So this is the video clip of Fox 2 News in Utah. For those who are just listening, my mouse cursor right now is over Josh, and I'm also pointing out the reporter. Josh is just getting home from the police station, and this is what the reporter is asking him.
Hey, I'm Chris Jones from Tennessee. How are you? Hey. Yeah. How you doing? I know this has been difficult for you. What's going through your mind today?
Well, I've been trying to figure out what I can do so I don't sit idle. I was just going to go in and get my kids because, you know, they're...
How are they doing?
They've been doing good. As far as I can tell.
How about you? I mean, I know this is difficult on you. How are you doing? I mean, it's got to be a lot of emotions going on for you.
You know, people have been really helpful and supportive, so it's been really hard, but you know, you just keep going.
What can you tell us about that night? I mean, from what we understand, you went camping and then came home. Well, tell us what happened that night.
Yeah, a lot of times I just go camping with my boys, you know, not anything big. I just go overnight, and you know, we do s'mores and stuff like that. And so I just went with the boys. I was planning to do some s'mores in the morning. And
weird, right?
Yeah, he can't even answer a simple question directly.
Like, can you just kind of describe it for some of the people who are listening?
It was just an odd response. Everything he responded to was either it seemed like it was rehearsed and it wasn't completed. He repeated himself a couple of times and he was nervous. You could tell in his lips. You could tell the way he was moving and how he was looking around. It's like he almost forgot what he rehearsed to say. He said cooking s'mores. The guy didn't ask him what they did when they went camping. He just said, we'll cook s'mores.
Yeah. Again, it's almost sub-zero temperature and you're cooking s'mores.
No offense. I just don't see that guy starting a fire without anything, lighter fluid or a match. I don't see him capable of using a flint.
No, there's no way that guy did that. I mean, I can't really speak on it, but the dude acted fucking weird during the whole thing.
He was that type of guy, and I know we all know one of them somehow. He's the type of guy who you just suspect
something.
He doesn't have to come. I mean, a lot of people will call him weird. Okay, we're weird. You and I, we have our weird behaviors that people think we're weird.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
But just by looking at him and not even knowing the story, if I would just listen to the dialogue that him and the damn reporter went through, I'd be like, well, why is he avoiding a specific question? And
not even specific, a very simple, specific question.
Simple. There you go.
It's simple.
I agree.
What time did you guys leave? Like he said, like 9 a.m. No, you know, a little late. I fucking sound like the guy. Jesus.
You sick some bitch.
Now, this is another part. Okay. Like I said, Josh has labeled him. The police has labeled Josh as a person of interest, not a suspect. This is now January 2010. Okay, it's been about a month. Susan's been missing. After a month of Susan's disappearance, Josh and the boys move out of the home. A month after all of this happens, and I'm going to ask you this question too. And I know people are going to be like, God, you guys are asking a lot of questions back and forth, but this is our hobby. It's what we do. If your wife, my mom, went missing, just up and disappeared out of the fucking nowhere, would you move out of that house a month after, just like that? Be like, all right, got to go.
Would I move? Probably not, because I wouldn't be guilty. As a guilty person, absolutely, I would move. I'd probably wait 2 days.
Where? Let me just say this: if you had a creepy dad like Steven, would you move back in with him?
No.
With your children?
No.
Well, Josh thought that would be a great fucking idea. So he ends up moving back to Washington to move in with a good old creepy Steven. All the while, Josh insisted he had nothing to do with Susan's disappearance. This is again on multiple, and you can find them on YouTube, which I'll be linking a few of the videos in the description below. He insisted I had nothing to do with my wife's disappearance. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing. Until, not even until, more time passes. It's now summer, July 2010. Fucking 7 months. The Powell boys, Brandon and Charles, were at summer camp. Brandon turned into a fucking Picasso kid and started drawing very interesting pictures. Well, when the camp counselor saw, she had some very interesting, not interesting, but she had some very, but she had concerns because the what he drew was showing the two boys, him and his brother, as well as Josh, but no Susan. Where were they? At a campground. He drew a tent. She thought that was odd. Now, mind you, it was known that she was not there. She was missing. But it was strange that he drew this. And what made it even crazier, and what she then told the authorities after she asked Brandon, where is mommy on the picture? That's all she wanted to know. It's not a hard question. Tell me you would be creeped out if you asked that question and a kid said mommy was in the trunk.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Oh, I never knew that. No way.
Yeah. Brandon also remembered Josh and Susan exit the car. He told everyone, I took the boys on a camping trip to Simpson Springs. He didn't say Susan. And as far as we know, Susan stayed at home. But only Josh returned to the car. Brandon remembers seeing his mom and dad exit the car, and then Josh come back by himself. Charlie said the same thing, except to a teacher, not a camp counselor. But this is all speculated off of children. Police still do not have proof that Josh committed any crime. Also, keep in mind, Josh was not only questioned, but the police also questioned the boys. And they asked, was your mom with you that night? Brandon said yes. Mom was there with us. And in these videos, which you can, again, look online, they play them damn near side by side. What's it called?
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously. They're asking the boys one question. They're asking Josh the exact same question. And Josh is saying, no, she was never there. But both are saying, no, mommy was there. Mommy was there. But then daddy came back to the car.
Yeah, I actually didn't know. I mean, I didn't follow. I guess I didn't follow the stories close enough, but I didn't know that they all went camping. I just thought he was the only one. So, yeah, guilt. That man is suspicious because he's guilty. He
Correct.
can't hide it no more.
At all. All right. So, like I said, we're gonna get into the father-in-law, Stephen, and then we'll end it on that for part one, and be a little bit of a cliffhanger for some folks.
Okay.
Okay. So, again, police couldn't prove anything. Yes, it was a weird picture that the boys drew. Yes, it sucks that he's labeled as a fucking person of interest, that they don't do anything on him, but it is what it is. Now, like I said, Josh decided to move in back with his dad, who used to watch pornographic movies with him as a child, and thought it would be a good idea to bring his now young children, 6 and 4 years old, or 6 and 4 years old. Like we've been saying, Josh did many weird interviews during this time, and he felt, the heat coming down on him. So he thought, you know what, maybe my dad can help me. Maybe my dad, the voice of reason, this fucking guy, huh? Maybe he can help me out. If you thought fucking Josh's interviews were weird, Steven was batshit fucking crazy. Now, like I said, this dude did some really fucking weird interviews, and here are a couple of them.
She would bend over my lap to let me smell her hair, or she would come in and say, I just waxed my legs, feel my thighs, how smooth they are. Seriously, this is the kind of thing that Susan seemed to enjoy doing.
Dude, I got goosebumps. The dude's creepy.
Right?
He's just creepy. Everything is just like, I have absolutely. I have an answer for you.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like, I'm sure the fucking interviewer was like, hey, how was your relationship with Susan? Like, was there any bad blood between you guys? And he's like, you know what? She let me smell her hair one time. It was pretty interesting. And then she bent over and I saw her butt cheeks. It was great. Fucking
in his mind, his sick, twisted mind, he was probably intrigued and just picturing what he's doing to the female reporter.
And again, it gets fucking creepier with this guy, and we're gonna end it pretty soon. But I'm leaving everybody on a cliffhanger with this dude. This next clip, this one is actually between Steven and Chuck, good old Chucky, Susan's dad. Now, just to give you guys those listening and you, Dad. This is a person. The Chuck and his wife were out on the street corner hooking. No, I'm just kidding. they were holding up signs. Hey, have you seen Susan? Can someone help us? Call this number. Here's a reward. Blah 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 blah. And then fucking creepy Steven comes walking in. Dude, watch.
First words were like fireworks, John. These two dads, they haven't spoken face to face since their kids moved on to Utah.
Thank you. We're just asking the public to remember her. Thank you.
A simple roadside rally to keep Susan Powell's disappearance in the spotlight.
We were just handing out flyers, and all of a sudden he comes approaching with cameras.
Instead became a flashpoint between families.
I have a restraining order right here. Would you like to read it? No, that's okay.
Chuck Cox, the missing woman's father, squared off with Susan Powell's father-in-law at a Fred Meyer parking lot in Puyallup.
How is you coming here helping to find Susan?
It isn't helping to find Susan. How is your standing at our neighborhood market helping to find Susan, Chuck?
Steve Powell.
What?
Trying to redirect all the attention, huh? That's a narcissist.
What? How is you standing on the corner of our neighborhood street? You're at a fucking Circle K, pal.
It's called public. It is
He's
free.
trying to put out there that his daughter is missing. How is this helping find your daughter? Motherfucker, what are you doing? Dude is weird. Dude is so fucking weird.
Yeah, dude. That dude's giving me the chills just as it is. I don't know. See, that's where I couldn't refrain from just killing the dude. I know I couldn't. I'd have probably, the way I feel about my children, doesn't matter male or female, boy or girl. Some cocky SOB came up to me like that to redirect the attention. I would, I would, I would honestly say that I would have tried, if not succeeded, killing the dude on TV.
And I wouldn't blame you.
Let's cut to the chase. Yes, I'm guilty. You see him? The SOB is dead. I
Yeah.
did it. It's
And I
on
wouldn't
national
blame you.
news.
I don't think anybody would fucking blame me, especially after the shit that he just pulled like that.
Yeah, it's arrogant. I hate arrogance. He's just so arrogant. Fuck.
Now,
But see those kind of clips. I never saw those kind of clips. I just heard stories, so I've never seen any of these clips. That
now
dude just looks weird.
he's weird, and I'm ending it on this. This is the end of part 1. Okay. Not only was this motherfucker like, oh yeah, she's bending over and feel my legs because I just shaved him and I could smell her hair. And what are you talking to her dad? You know, what are you doing on this street corner doing this, that, and the other? This fucking creep wrote her a song. He wrote her a song, and it's called Secretly.
That's just disturbing, dude. That's exactly my point. Disturbing. I don't even know what's worse at this point. Now, mind you, this was what, 12, 13 years ago, 15, 20, whatever years ago.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they wouldn't show that type of coverage nowadays. That's why they have a delay in live.
Oh, hell no.
Live filming. They wouldn't show. They wouldn't give that guy the time of day or the time, any part of the coverage.
Yeah, no, they definitely wouldn't do that. And you're right, they would have that 10-second delay or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They wouldn't show that. Or maybe they would, because fucking people are looking for views and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say broadcast television. It would be filmed. Everybody has their camera out. So it would have came out through some social media or some post. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the broadcast system, the proper authorities,
proper reporters.
Proper reporters. Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't have came out. They wouldn't give that guy
the time
any
of day
opportunity.
So
He's
this is what I'm going to
basking in it.
Okay, this is what I'm going to end it on. This is the song. Just it's a real quick clip.
Okay.
It's a real quick clip. But here's the song that he wrote for her. Mind you, on the screen that I have right now, here's some of the God. This is some of the lyrics that's written down. It's just a couple of sentences.
I can love you in a secret way. I can love you each and every day.
I can love you in a secret way. I can love you each and every day.
He knows where she's at. He knows where she's at. That's his secret.
Oh, you think so?
Listen to I can love you in a special way. I can love. What was it again? I can love you
right here.
In a secret.
I can love you each and every day.
He knows where she's at, or wherever her remains are. He probably has a trophy.
You think so?
Listen to what he's saying. He is almost lusting. Like he's salivating, saying that maybe I'm the sick one for interpreting it that way. I don't know. But just to me, he's saying, I can love you in a secret way. I can love you every day. Subconsciously, yeah, he probably but I guarantee you he's got something physical of hers.
Now, mind you, I've also what I'm looking at is a YouTube video. This person was able to pull it up. Kendall Ray, that's her. That's who I was able to get some of this footage from. So I'll be linking her podcast on here and YouTube page on here as well. But it says, I can love you in a secret way. I can love you each and every day. There is nothing I can't see. There is nothing you can't be.
It's imaginary and it's visual. He sees and he's pretending. He's playing something out in his head, dude. He's probably violating her every day in some sick, malicious, twisted fantasy of his. And his kid knows this?
His kid, who is Josh, yeah.
His kid knows that his dad is doing this?
We'll find out.
Two?
We'll find out in part 2. What do you think so far of this part 1 split episode cliffhanger?
Well, like I said, I know the story and I'm familiar with it to an extent, but what you're playing in that song, dude, that song is creepy. It's disgusting. No, I don't want to hear no more.
One more time.
I can love you in a
Actually, this part where the screen is coming down. Okay.
I don't see it.
No. I'm gonna read it to you. So there's a part just before he says, "I can love you in a secret way." Okay. It says this: "Make some room for me within you." This is his lyric that he wrote. "Make some room for me within you. For the moment I begin to smell the perfume in your hair and caress, you are everywhere. I'm missing you."
Caress you. Caress you everywhere.
I'm dyslexic, people. "And caress you everywhere. I'm missing you." Then it goes into the chorus. "I can love you in a secret way."
He did something, or they both did. They know where it's at. That is odd.
That is the creepiest fucking shit ever. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is part 1 of the disappearance of Susan Powell. How do you feel?
Okay, not good. I want to take a shower.
I'm gonna fucking scrub myself with baking soda or vinegar right now. This is, dude, something creepy. Ugh, it's so creepy, this guy, and it just gets fucking creepier, and I can't wait to tell you the rest of the story.
All right.
So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching us. Please be sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We have our linked website down below.
Thank you, everybody. You can find the podcast on our Flow page at Flow.page /2 guys 1 crime.
There you have all of our links, everything from social media to the podcast platforms that we're on: Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. If you leave us a review, it'd be greatly appreciated. And if you can head over to Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. Granted, there's no words that you could put in there, but it's a star system, 1 through 5. We'd greatly appreciate it if you could do that for us. Until the next crime, we'll talk to you later.
Out.
You like that? Okay, perfecto. Oh, this is going to be so good now. Okay. Welcome everybody back to the podcast. This is 2 Guys 1 Crime, hosted by a son and a father. We are your hosts. I'm Little Jim, as with me.
I'm Big Jim.
One more time. Let's redo that.
I see how Becky Sue in Pornhub feels now. Oh my God.
Shit, excuse me.
Let's cut that out.
Yeah. That came
Holy
out of nowhere.
shit, dude.
Was that
I heard that come from your lower intestine.
You heard it?
Yeah.